There's a guy in UK, his name was Richard Huckle.
Yes.
He abused 200 children, sentenced to life in prison, later murdered in prison, 2016. Okay, Richard Huckle, Huckle.
And then you have Jimmy Savile.
Jimmy Savile is another one, yes.
Who was part of that, and that was hooked up to UK intelligence through the pedophile information exchange.
But did anything that Epstein did to the victims, did anyone get killed by Epstein or his people?
I do know this, that some of those, and I saw this with the Franklin scandal, some of those pedophiles were vicious to some of these girls. I can say that.
Epstein, you're saying Epstein was not?
I'm saying that there were some victims of Jeffrey Epstein's
Right.
that were pandered to some very vicious individuals.
Such as?
There's a woman that told me that she was pandered to a very powerful guy, a former prime minister, who was pretty vicious to her.
Do we know the name?
I mean, I could say the name, but then the woman, I would rather, for her sake, not say it.
She hasn't said it?
Not publicly, no. Not publicly, and not what she told me.
Is this a living PM?
Yes. Yeah.
And somebody got killed?
No, but he was very violent to her.
He was violent to her. He was aggressive.
She said that he put her in the hospital. And you see that with the Franklin scandal and other situations. Like with Dutroux, he started killing girls. And you see unbelievable sadism in the Franklin scandal with the victims.
Yeah, so to me because when you look at these cases, what gets the attention is if that's taking place. You have the story of Luis Gravito, Colombia, serial child killer, convicted of murdering over 100 children, sentenced to 1,853 years, reduced to under Colombian law, no death penalty, died in 2023. That's the guy right there. But he killed 100 children. Then you have another one called John Wayne Gacy, serial killer who raped and murdered at least 33 young men, executed by lethal injection.
He was more into
boys.
Well, older. I think a lot of his victims were older than 18 years old.
So his was older than 18 years old.
He might have.
So you're saying at least he followed the laws, what you're saying?
No, I'm not.
Come on, Nick.
But no.
Don't
What I'm saying, if you're talking
downplay
about pedophilic perpetrators,
So he would ID them before he did anything to them or kill them.
I think he ID'd them. And
Well,
then,
what a responsible killer you are, buddy.
So we see these in multiple cultures, but Lawrence King did no time for molesting children. Craig Spence did no time for molesting children. Ghislaine Maxwell, the deal that she got is mind-boggling. And now, I mean, she was put into a dormitory very early on, which is pretty cush. I mean, people that have served a lot of time or have done a lot of their sentence and inmates that have exhibited exemplary behavior are generally put a number of times, and they're getting close to the end of their bid, they're put into dormitory-style living. And she was put into dormitory-style living very quickly. And now she's in an even cush prison in Texas, which is really, really horrific.
And by the way, when Craig Spence died, he wrote a note, if I'm not mistaken, Rob. Didn't Craig Spence write a note in the hotel? And he says, take this as my formal resignation or something, some
right
weird
here.
like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Chief, consider this my resignation effective immediately. As you always said, you can't ask others to make a sacrifice if you are not ready to do the same. Life is a duty. God bless America. This is after he killed himself, taking all those 7 Xanax, small packets of Xanax.
Well, I've heard of different pills that he took to overdose, but yes, he was in a tuxedo and he was at the Ritz-Carlton in Boston. So,
What a way to go.
So that's how.
What a way to go. So he wanted to have a black tie event when he killed himself.
But he was never arrested, indicted for molesting a single
nobody
child.
has. So to me, there's a difference between, when you're put on that, what is that list that you go to any city, you're on a list. What is that list called?
Sex offender registry.
Sex offender registry, which, by the way, it's a very effective thing because, and you can even go and see how many sex offenders live around you. I mean, that is a public humiliation, old school type of way of doing things, right? So that's one. But when you're talking about a guy like Epstein, Ghislaine, You know, if Ghislaine, if she is given a pardon and she's released, how do you think the market's going to react if that happens?
Well, I hope that there's tremendous outrage, but we need outrage now.
Yeah.
I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein didn't even have to register as a perpetrator in New Mexico because he'd pandered underage girls to both Bill Richardson and Bruce King, who were the governors of New Mexico.
He bought the property from the governor, the 8,000 acre property.
So we need something now.
Yeah.
That's why Epstein justice is really important. I mean, don't you think that if our government's not going to do it, that us as Americans, we have to create a movement? Now, movements are difficult. There was the labor rights movement. And at one point, people that wanted unions were considered far left radicals. There was a civil rights movement. There was the women's rights movement. Now we have to come together and make sure that the children have a right not to be molested. Now, if you look at the numbers of kids that are molested in the United States, it's pretty mind-boggling. Now, this is from the CDC, according to the Centers for Disease Control. 25% of underage girls have been molested, and people in the field think that that's conservative, and 5% of underage boys. Now, there are studies that go as high as 16% on underage boys, but if we just stick with the CDC numbers, there are 50 million Americans that have been molested as children. 50 million. We need to stop this, and we have to, and this is what's really important about Epstein. If we allow the Department of Justice to cover up a proven trafficking network like Epstein, that sends a message to millions of Americans that you have no voice and no hope for justice. That's another reason why we have to put our foot down and say no more.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Hi, I'm Nick Bryant, and if you want to connect with me on Connect. You can ask me about Epstein justice and also all things Epstein.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.